This is a newsletter by Jade Bonacolta dated June 26, 2023, titled Rich in Willpower. Misogi is an ancient Japanese Shinto ritual to cleanse the mind and body. It usually involves making the pilgrimage to an icy waterfall and standing under the cold water to symbolize intense purification. The concept was popularized in the U.S. by Dr. Marcus Elliott, a Harvard-trained physician who develops elite athletes. But Elliott interprets a misogi more broadly as any epic challenge in nature that tests your limits, both mentally and physically. It's all about embracing discomfort and doing something so difficult one day of the year that it changes your perspective on the other 364. Why it's important. Discomfort used to mean fleeing hungry predators. Discomfort now means a bad Wi-Fi connection. We rarely leave our comfort zones anymore. The result? Risk aversion, anxiety, and operating far below what our true potential is. You see, if you don't test your limits actually shrink. The only way to grow, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, is to push the edge of those preconceived boundaries. Test your body. Strengthen your mind. The Misogi method. Here we go. Method. There are 2 rules for a misogi as Elliott defines it. It has to be really hard, with only a 50% chance of succeeding. You can't die, meaning it has to be safe. Examples could be hiking 12 miles with a 45-pound backpack, swimming 1 kilometer to shore with an escort boat, a 5-minute cold plunge, etc. Why it works. If a misogi is hard enough, it will bring you to a breaking point where you think you can't keep going. You'll say you've reached your limit, but if you just keep going a little longer, a few more steps, a few more minutes, you'll look back at that point and realize that wasn't your limit. You sold yourself short, which leads to the important question. If I sold myself short here, where else in my life am I selling myself short? By the way, whether you finish the misogi at the end doesn't matter. Remember, you only had a 50% shot. Whether your misogi is harder or easier than another person's doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you pushed beyond what you truly thought your limit was. My first misogi? Riding a motorcycle across Morocco for 2 weeks in 110-degree heat through slippery sand and impossible switchback turns. I was the youngest person, and only woman, to attempt the motorcycle tour. I wanted to quit many times, but I pushed past the mental battle of self-doubt and managed to finish. When I returned home, my mental toughness was strong. All the tiny inconveniences that would have previously stressed me out were put into perspective, and all the opportunities I used to pass up because of my high-risk aversion suddenly felt within reach. So tell me, what's your next misogi? It can be anything, not just physical challenges in nature, but you must have less than a 50% chance of succeeding. P.S. To dive deeper, I highly recommend reading The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. Until next week, Jade, that's the end of this newsletter. Thank you for listening. Please follow us for more curated content.